Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Welcome back in after further review here on a Tuesday, presented by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I guess there's no Sports Center because of the Music City Bowl, so we'll just get started about a minute and a half early here in this hour. Musso in for Moscona, Taylor Sharp, Paul O'Neill along for the ride. Glad you're along for the ride as well. I would imagine that most of you all who are listening have started your New Year's holiday or just continued your holidays from Christmas. But if you're knocking off work, hopping in your car, we appreciate you making us part of your day as well. If you're spending your time off, your well-earned time off with us, then we really appreciate you because you really don't have to be here right now, but you are, and we thank you. So we got a great rest of the show for you planned here. Pete Futek will be here in about an hour and 45 minutes or so. Preview the college football playoff quarterfinals. Of course, those take place New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. 4 great matchups to get into with Pete. Really looking forward to that. Lane Kiffin has added yet another member to his support staff. We have to get to that as well here. And I'm Otter to give us plays for the college football playoff and Otter Locks. He'll be here to wrap up the show. So we got a ton left to do here on this Tuesday before we send you into the new year and 2026. Here's where I want to start. There's 1 week to go in the NFL season, week 18 coming up. You got great playoff races, things of that nature, and a few winner-take-all games for divisions and playoff spots. That'll be sure to be great entertainment. But this is when you start to see, all blank team lists come out, and ESPN took a stab at their all-rookie team. It was Ben Solak, who does a great job. Ben's been on this show before with Matt, as a matter of fact. And the other thing is, we tend to make fun of lists a lot on this show, kind of make it into a bit. But there is some good stuff here that really shows you where the Saints are going forward, maybe what they've hit on in their draft class here in 2025. And then there's one just head scratcher that doesn't make a lot of sense. So let's start there with the head scratcher that doesn't make a lot of sense. Again, this is Ben Solak over at ESPN, his all-rookie team for the NFL. First team quarterback, Cam Ward. Yes, that Cam Ward. The one who just lost to the New Orleans Saints and Tyler Shuck. Yes, that Tyler Shuck, who is most likely going to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year award in the NFL and should, he's the betting favorite. That Tyler Shuck that leads rookie quarterbacks in not one, but 5 different categories in the NFL, is second team to Cam Ward. You can read through Ben Solak's write-ups. I'm not going to read through the entire thing for you. It's long. I'll give you the Cliff Notes. He likes what he's seen more from Cam Ward. The advanced metrics, things of that nature, but the resiliency, the creativity that he's shown, the peak, the high ceiling that he thinks Cam Ward can have, and that's fine. That's great. I like when people give their own opinion, give their own take, and don't just have the same take as everyone else, the same opinion. Oh, it's Tyler Shuck because, it has to be at this point. But also at some point, doesn't it have to be that? Doesn't it have to be that, okay, what you've seen from Tyler Shuck on the field is that he's the best rookie quarterback in this class, and he's proven that through his play in 8 games? Isn't it so jaw-dropping that Tyler Shuck leads all rookie quarterbacks in these categories when he hasn't even played a full season like someone like Cam Ward? Doesn't that kind of matter more at one point? And isn't that point now? I'll read you this from Ben Solak. Shuck became the betting favorite to win Offensive Rookie of the Year after leading the Saints come from behind win over Ward and Tennessee in Week 17. I kind of get it. The Saints have won their past 4 games, and Shuck has looked better with each passing week. But while I see quality with Shuck, I don't see the sort of jaw-dropping, math-changing potential in Cam Ward. I kind of get it. You kind of get it? Tyler Shuck leads NFL rookie quarterbacks in wins, quarterback rating, completion percentage, 300-yard games. And by the way, he has 2. So no other rookie quarterback has had 2. And fourth quarter game-winning drives. If that's not math-changing, fourth quarter game-winning drives, which he's led 3 in 8 games, by the way, I don't really know what is. Tyler Shuck should be the first-team quarterback on this list. He's not. That's ridiculous. And he's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. No disrespect to Cam Ward. I'm sure he's got a bright future ahead of him. He made some great plays in that game against the Saints. But when you put the total body of work together, this is not close. If you wanted to flip-flop him, fine. It would have been a greater injustice if he left Tyler Shuck off this list in general, but you couldn't do that. But the fact that Tyler Shuck is second team to any other rookie quarterback at this point is laughable, and that's asinine, quite honestly. On to the things he absolutely nailed, because there's plenty of Saints on this list. They're littered throughout, and they should be, and that should just further drive home the excitement for the future, the potential future of this franchise. Kelvin Banks, first team left tackle on this list. Y'all, Kelvin Banks has made 16 starts. He has not missed a game. And he has acquitted himself quite nicely. Solak notes an 87% pass block win rate, as well as a 76% run block win rate. When you go to PFF, Kelvin Banks, in terms of rookie tackles, regardless of snap count, like regardless of minimum snap, like, oh, you have to play 20%. No. I'm looking at a rookie left tackle right here who has played 7 snaps. Regardless of snap count, Kelvin Banks is the highest graded overall rookie left tackle, or rookie tackle, I should say, per Pro Football Focus. He has been awesome. Has he had some rough moments? Sure. The game against the Panthers really stands out, man. Will McDonald wore him out that day, but that's going to happen as a rookie. But when you look at what you've gone through at left tackle for the New Orleans Saints, where you took Trevor Penning in the first round, you have since moved him to right tackle, then guard, and traded him away at the deadline. You take Taliesin Fuanga, who, man, he was fine as a rookie, but you didn't feel like he was your franchise. You move him to right tackle. Now you bring in Banks, again, 9th overall, and it looks like you finally hit highest graded rookie tackle, regardless of snap count, and he lands first team all rookie here from ESPN. That makes a lot of sense. It's where he should be, and he's earned that. And you feel really good about the future of that position, and probably your bookend tackles. Now you need to address guard really for the Saints, and probably a succession plan at center here sooner rather than later. We'll see how much longer Eric McCoy has. Of course, the injuries starting to crop up there. On the defensive side, there's plenty to go with as well. Jonas Sanker, should be no surprise that Jonas Sanker lands on this list as the first team all-rookie safety per Ben Solak. 78 tackles, 2 picks, 6 passes defended. Jonas Sanker has played the most snaps of any safety on the Saints team so far this year. And look, he was a guy coming out in the draft that a lot of people in the Saints got him late in round 3. You got to remember, that's their second round 3 pick, right? I mean, they had Vernon Broughton early in round 3. Jonas Sanker was 93rd overall, late day 2 guy. And he was looked at as one of the steals of the draft. And honestly, it's played out that way. It wasn't an easy path to the field for him being a starter. He was going to play early. But, I mean, look, with Tyrann Mathieu retiring early, in the preseason, with Tyrann Mathieu retiring in the preseason, that opened the door for Jonas Sanker to get more playing time. Then obviously the unfortunate injury to Justin Blackmon forced him into the starting lineup, and he's played over 900 snaps and has been very, very, very efficient and a great communicator as well, and really, really good in coverage for the New Orleans Saints so far in his rookie season. So, look, that makes, obviously, a whole bunch of sense to have him there. The other one did catch me by surprise. There's 4 New Orleans Saints on this list, and the other one is also in the Saints secondary, and it's Quincy Riley. And I say it caught me by surprise because I just feel like there's been some ups and downs. And you're going to have that with rookies, I understand. But maybe more so than normal, or not normal. Let me put it this way. I feel watching the Saints, watching Quincy Riley, the fluctuations in those up and downs have been more pronounced. The highs have been really good. The lows have been, pretty low with Quincy Riley so far here this season. But all in all, 31 tackles. He's got the pick. He's defended 8 passes. He had to deal with injury early coming in out of Louisville from the draft. Got his first start in week 5. That's when he really burst onto the scene. That first start in week 5 was fantastic for Quincy Riley. And then he's continued to be steady going forward. So you land 4 on this list. And even though Shuck should have been the first teamer and whatever, he landed on the list because you weren't going to keep him off of there. But there was so much talk leading into the draft around the New Orleans Saints about what they were going to do with their 9 picks. There's no way they were going to make all 9 because they never do. They did. They did make all 9. Which was a welcome sign. And the returns so far have been very good. And this is just third-party affirmation, unbiased, national media member telling you that now by having 4 members of a 9-player draft class on his all-rookie team in the NFL. 2 on offense at your franchise positions, by the way, left tackle and quarterback, and 2 on defense in your secondary, which you really needed some help to remake. Because, again, Paulson Adebo, Marshawn Lattimore, they're out the door. You're hoping Kool-Aid McKinstry can be that number 1. Don't know if he can. Doesn't really look like he can be it right now. But Quincy Riley has locked down the other corner position. What's going to happen with Alontae Taylor as he enters free agency in 2026? And Jonas Sanker, obviously, the back end where, man, you've really needed to replace throughout the years guys like Marcus Williams and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. And you finally did, potentially with a guy like Jonas Sanker. It's playing out. And that's not even really to say that you don't feel good about Devin Neal before the injury. They're real high on Devin Neal, and he showed flashes. That's another member. You got to see Maliki Matavau at tight end against the Titans this past Sunday. But those 4 have really stood out. And if you hit on 4 out of 9, that's going to be a really good draft class, especially considering 2 of them, Shuck and Banks, are at franchise positions for you at left tackle and at quarterback. So far, so good. There's a long way to go for this draft class. This is just 1 year, but it's a really good start, and it is the reason that you should feel excitement down the stretch of the season with the New Orleans Saints and going forward in a weak division, what they do in this upcoming draft and those positions solidified in the 25 draft, you could have more money to spend in free agency and make a run at this division and potentially a playoff spot in Kellen Moore's second season. Not saying you're going to win the Super Bowl, not saying you're going to make a deep run in the playoff. You're a long way away from that. But to get there in Kellen Moore's second season, that would be huge. And that's what this run at the end of the year is setting up for, and in large part due to the contributions you're getting from these rookies. There is excitement around this team again. And regardless of what happens Sunday against Atlanta, this has been as strong of a finish to the year as you could have imagined for the New Orleans Saints. And I don't really know that many of us imagined it. So we'll be back on Friday with all the transfer portal goodness that will come. And by that, we just mean the sheer chaos that will come when the transfer portal officially opens on Friday, January the 2nd. But until then, Lane Kiffin, he's not done adding to his staff. Our very own Matt Moscona, who's supposed to be on vacation, broke this news last night at LouisianaSports.net that Lane Kiffin has added Austin Shelton to the personnel staff, the player personnel staff. Shelton comes to LSU from NC State, where he was the director of player personnel for the Wolfpack the past 2 seasons. That was actually his second stint in Raleigh with the Wolfpack. But this is a Billy Glasscock connection for Austin Shelton coming over. They first crossed paths at NC State when they were both there. They would later work together as well at the University of Texas. Glasscock would go on to Ole Miss, and Shelton would end up back at NC State again, where he spent the previous 2 years. So this is a guy, they have a working relationship. And look, y'all, with everything we've heard, and that's the deal, we haven't got to hear yet from Billy Glasscock. I'm sure that will happen eventually. He's pretty busy right now working behind the scenes. But everything you heard, you know what, I asked Shay this back on the pregame show for the Texas Bowl, just, to give us a little bit of background on Billy Glasscock. Shay said, in short, everyone you talk to, and even Shay hadn't really had a chance to, to sit down and talk about it, but everyone you talk to, he's the best general manager in college football. That's what everybody says, who's worked with him, who's been around him. So if this is a guy that he trusts and he wants to bring in, by all means, I want to bring in Austin Shelton, and I trust Austin Shelton too. I mean, I think the proof's in the pudding with what Billy Glasscock's been able to do so far in his role. This is a close confidant for him. So Austin Shelton will join LSU staff. Also served time. That makes it sound really bad. He also spent time at Old Dominion, Purdue, Arizona, and Tennessee, as in addition to his time with Billy Glasscock at Texas and NC State. His role and staff title not immediately known. So again, he was the director of player personnel at NC State. Mike Williams is also joining Lane Kiffin's staff. He follows from Ole Miss, where he was the senior director of player personnel. So it would stand to reason that it won't be director of player personnel for Austin Shelton. Jeff Martin, of course, was brought back to LSU in July as the executive director of player personnel. His future, not really known yet entirely. A final decision, let's say, not. I mean, he very well could be back at LSU. He could be moving on. Where you could see this really fall is the associate director of player personnel, potentially at LSU or something in that regard, because that position is open with Jay Schudery returning to Ole Miss, I should say, following Austin Thomas there. That is the position in the player personnel department that is open. But again, that is not set in stone. That is not officially Shelton's title, but that could be, where he ends up when you just piece together, staff positions and things of that nature. But man, look, all for it. And look, there's one player in particular that's in the transfer portal from NC State at a major position of need that obviously has a relationship with Austin Shelton, and that is quarterback C.J. Bailey. C.J. Bailey spent this past season, obviously, at NC State. In fact, he spent the last 2 seasons as a starting quarterback at NC State. He's a sophomore. He has 2 years of eligibility remaining and has been pretty darn good. Made a sizable jump from a freshman to a sophomore year, about 4 points higher in completion percentage. From 2,400 yards passing to 3,100 yards passing, 17 touchdowns to 25, even decreased the interceptions, and he can run the ball a little bit as well. He's got some wiggle to him. So that's a guy, 6'6", 210, great size on C.J. Bailey. Keep an eye on that one now with Austin Shelton coming over. Could that potentially be a target, a big target and a link, obviously, for LSU in the transfer portal as a position of need? As we talked with Shea Dixon in hour number 1, he mentioned it's going to be multiple quarterbacks for LSU in the transfer portal. And that's something that Shea's mentioned each time we've talked to him about this, that you're looking for a starting quarterback and a backup at LSU. Well, that's a guy with 2 years of starting experience right there in C.J. Bailey with a tie to the staff. That could be a path that LSU looks to pursue. And in regards to the multiple quarterback facet of this, you need the numbers, right? Because while, yes, Michael Van Buren says he's had talks with the staffs and everything's good there, we broke that down yesterday, that he'd be coming back to LSU to do what he's already done, to be a backup. I would love to have him because he's got double-digit game starting experience in the Southeastern Conference. That'd be a huge luxury. I don't know if that's something that Michael Van Buren really wants to do. He'll have to wait and see what LSU does. But I'll remind you, Don't worry about quarterback depth either. Yes, you have one scholarship guy right now, and that's Michael Van Buren. Lane Kiffin brought in 3 quarterbacks in the portal a year ago at Ole Miss. And that was with an incumbent starter in Austin Simmons. He brought in 3 of them. He'll go get his guys there. But one thing's for sure, you definitely need a starter, and maybe potentially C.J. Bailey is that guy now, given the tie with Austin Shelton on staff. We'll keep you updated there. Now, portal update as a whole for LSU. 16 scholarship players. You're looking at north of 20 most likely going to enter the portal for LSU, and that's a lot of it is just natural attrition and staff turnover. But you're up to 16 players. The additions yesterday, later in the day, were linebacker Princeton Malbrew, who played mostly on special teams in his time at LSU. You did see him get some run at the edge position on defense at times, specifically in 2024 when LSU had so many injuries there at that position and whatnot. But it was mainly special teams. So Princeton Malbrew, he'll seek a new opportunity. And then reserve running back Malachi Lane also entered the transfer portal on Monday night for LSU. So, I mean, look, you already only had 2 scholarship running backs. That does not really change. This is probably best for Malachi Lane. You wish him best of luck, man, in whatever he does in his next destination and in his journey in college football. But for running back, you're really in the same spot as you were with Durham and Harlan Berry as your 2 scholarship backs that you have really, returning given what's happened legally with JT Lindsey. So, you'll see how that shakes out. It was interesting when we did talk with Shea Dixon earlier in the show, and if you missed that, obviously you can find it on demand at AFR On Demand, presented by Brett Goff, YouTube, podcast, all of those things, anywhere you get your podcasts. AFR LSU for YouTube channel.
To further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
One July in the midnight hour, he climbed up on the water tower, stood on the rail and painted a 10-foot heart. In John Deere green.
Brought to you by Evermore. Drink Evermore, EVAMOR, evermore.com, evermore.com. For elite athletes, for someone who just wants a healthier lifestyle. Maybe you're a parent, you want a healthier option for your children. Evermore is a great option. I would highly encourage you, bottom line, if you're drinking tap water, don't. Bare minimum, filter your tap water. But the best option is Evermore. This is natural artesian water. It's underground aquifers on the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain, right there in Covington. They dug a well into that aquifer, and I mean, it's literally thousands of years in the making. That's why they call it Mother Nature's masterpiece. That's what they're pulling out of the ground. The only filtration is take like the sediment from the ground out of the water, and it goes right into the bottle. So it never touches air until you uncap it, take that first delicious sip. Learn more where you can buy it, great retailers or online, EVAMOR, evermore.com.
Pro Football Hall of Fame announced its 15 modern era player finalists for 2026 here on Monday evening. And the Saints, for two former New Orleans Saints greats, are on there. Obviously, Drew Brees. Drew Brees' first year on the ballot, he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like I think we all know that up to this point, but it's another check mark, another hurdle in the process for Brees. He is a Hall of Fame finalist, and I mean deservedly so. He's the greatest player in New Orleans Saints history. You talk about just the franchise, and that is Drew Brees for the New Orleans Saints. Super Bowl champion, multi-time offensive player of the year, still holds several NFL passing records and is second to Tom Brady in all the other ones. There was that time where Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, and Tom Brady just traded NFL passing records. He completely redefined what it meant to be a New Orleans Saint did Drew Brees, and resurrected his own career alongside the city resurrecting itself from Hurricane Katrina. Just everything that Drew Brees means to the franchise, to the city, and the performance on the field is why it is a no doubt slam dunk that he will be a Hall of Famer. But nonetheless, he has to go through the process, and he will be a first ballot, and nonetheless has to go through the process and is doing that. So he is he's officially one of the 15 finalists. Really feels like Brees and Larry Fitzgerald are going to be the two that just are slam dunk first ballot Hall of Famers here. I mean, Larry Fitzgerald is second to Jerry Rice in most categories in receiving. He's arguably, he is the greatest receiver in Cardinals history. So, just fantastic. So, congratulations to Drew Brees there. Jari Evans is the other one. Also, Super Bowl champion, 4-time first-team All-Pro during his playing career, member of the All-Decades team in 2010. Like, Jari Evans eventually is going to hear his name called by the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He's going to get the knock on the door, right, if you will. He's out also an assistant offensive line coach currently with the New Orleans Saints as well. So, man, it would just be awesome to see Brees and Evans both go in the same year. I don't know if that's going to happen. This is not the first time that Jari Evans has been a finalist. In fact, he's been a finalist in the last 3 Hall of Fame classes and just hasn't gotten pushed over the top there yet. It will come for him. He just has to wait his turn. But I do think that'd be a really, really cool synergy with, Evans, who was charged with protecting Drew Brees during the greatest era of Saints football with that Super Bowl run and whatnot. I think them going in together, that would be really cool, obviously there. But we'll see, how that does eventually play out. But Jari Evans and Drew Brees, both members of the 15 finalists, the modern era player, what they call it, in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. For what it's worth, the voting process will go forth from here, and then the 3 to 5 member Pro Football Hall of Fame class will be announced at NFL Honors on February the 5th, which, man, could be a really big night for the New Orleans Saints. If you really look at it, you could have, again, Drew Brees is going to be officially announced as an inductee into the Hall of Fame, and Tyler Shuck could potentially also take home Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, which he should. As we talked about earlier in this hour, Tyler Shuck should take home that award. So February 5th, NFL Honors, man, that could be a big night for the New Orleans Saints. We'll see what happens there with Brees and Evans in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And, of course, Tyler Shuck as well. All right. Want to touch on LSU and an honor for a departing Tiger here momentarily. But first, Matt with a message for you.
We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Again, you can log on to firstsouthland.com. We're nearing the end of the year. Maybe you're thinking about that tax write-off. You're buying timber property, recreational timber property could be a great opportunity for a tax strategy. Talk to your CPA to see if that's something that might make sense. Or maybe, right now you're in hunting season and you're tired of sharing that lease. This is a good time to call our friends over at First South Farm Credit to start that process toward owning your own land. It's First South Farm Credit. Go to firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com. Land's a finite resource, y'all. It ain't never going down in value, and they ain't making more of it. So you want to get your own. First South Farm Credit can help. firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com.
Congratulations to West Weeks. West Weeks has officially accepted an invite to play in the East-West Shrine Bowl. Show off for NFL scouts one more time. That game is January 27th in Frisco, Texas. Man, look, I'm obviously hoping for all the best for Wes Weeks and his future. Really solid player. Of course, came to LSU out of the transfer portal. Ended up spending 4 seasons with the Tigers, though. Redshirted a year ago in order to stick around for one more year. Got to play with both of his brothers in Witt and Zach, including, man, they all got on the field against Western Kentucky at the same time, a first in LSU history. That was awesome. But great to see him come to LSU out of the portal, really improve, develop here, and by the end of his tenure, a starter in his final season, which, again, he took the red shirt in order to do that. Starts 11 games in his final season, 74 stops, led the team actually in TFLs, did West Weeks. All in all, in 4 seasons, 133 total tackles. So really, man, an awesome career for West Weeks at LSU. Some really cool moments with his family as well, which is just really awesome. And now he'll head off to the East-West Shrine Bowl, one of multiple Tigers, actually, that will be in that game. Again, it'll be played January 27th in Frisco, Texas. So congratulations to West Weeks. An awesome honor, and he accepted the invitation. And, man, here's to hoping that he shows out, gets on the radar of a bunch of NFL scouts, and goes on to a happy, healthy, and prosperous career in the National Football League and reps LSU every single step of the way. If he does that, he'll be featured in our next segment to close this hour. Tigers in the Pros. We'll grab a break. We'll come back, and Taylor will take you through that here on AFR.
AFR.
Here on AFR, Musso in for Moscona. Tuesday show presented by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Wrap it up.
That's my bad. I wanted to end the show early, so I
Yeah,
just went ahead and...
well, no, actually, Taylor, that's my bad because I clipped that live. And that's been playing way more than I needed it to. Okay, anyway, we're going to forget about that and because people have no idea what we're talking about. And you're going to do Tigers in the Pros to wrap up hour number 2 of AFR.
I am, if I can find the hotkey.
Right next to the rotator of the bumps. There it is.
Tigers.
Nailed it. Oh, and it's gone. You wanted the dramatic entrance of
Tigers in the Pros.
Yeah.
They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, yeah, sorry about it. We don't talk about important things during the break. Like, we were talking New Year's resolution, dodgeball quotes, the finding the Tigers in the Pros bumper.
I was telling y'all what I was going to make for dinner tonight.
Well, yeah, it wasn't as big of a deal. Musso having burgers.
It's
Anybody
really
wondering?
good. And a big cup of hot chocolate for dessert.
So the LA Rams, they lose a surprising one last night to the Atlanta Falcons, 27-24. But Omar Spates, he did his part, second on the team in tackles for the Los Angeles Rams, 8 total. On the year, Omar's having a really good season right now, 80 tackles on the year so far. For reference, all of last season, 17-game total, he had 67, and he's only played in 15 games this year so far. So really good second year there.
Real quick, can we briefly talk for a moment about how the Falcons did everything possible to lose that game, even after they blew a 21-point lead and took the lead back?
They should have lost that game.
They let a receiver behind them twice.
I know. And how often does Matthew Stafford miss that throw? Never.
Twice, Taylor. Twice. Puka Nacua almost made the catch of the year on the sideline the third time. God, the Falcons are just comedy. They really are. They looked like they were not going to be happy until they let someone behind them to win that game.
Tutu Atwell, hey, be an athlete, bud. I know the DB's right there. Catch the ball, man. Be an athlete.
Catch that ball.
You get paid money to play football, so do it.
Yeah. Anyway, the Falcons, pure comedy all the time.
Over to the NBA, the Houston Rockets got a win last night, 126-119 over the Indiana Pacers, and former LSU Tiger Tari Eason. He had a pretty good day at the office, 13 points on 5 of 8 shooting, also 8 rebounds. He had 1 assist. He did have a steal and a block as well. Just for reference, on the season right now, Tari Eason averaging 11.5 points and about 5 rebounds per contest. Wrapping it up as we stay in the NBA. The Golden State Warriors took down the Brooklyn Nets, but a familiar face returned to the lineup. Cam Thomas, actually his second game back.
Love that.
This is the second game of a back-to-back. Cam Thomas had been out for over a month with an injury. No big deal. In the 2 games back, 30 points and 13 points. So not bad there for Cam Thomas. Of course, last night he did have 13 points, came off the bench, 19 minutes. Also 5 rebounds, no assists, but he did have a steal as well. The former Tiger averaging about 21.5 points so far here in the young NBA season. That is Tigers and the Pros.
Thank you, Taylor. We appreciate that. It's After Further Review, presented by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Guys, quick, while we have a few minutes here for the room, how do we feel about the Chargers posting a Drew Brees Hall of Fame finalist thing on their Twitter? Because I see a lot of Saints fans being like, you can't do that. He's not yours, or that's bait, or just all those kind of things.
I always love when a team trolls another fan base. I'm actually for it.
Okay.
I'm also not a diehard Saints fan. If I was, I'd probably feel different.
Oh, I think, look, he started his career there. You drafted him. He played multiple years. Yeah, go ahead. You want to send a congratulations? Sure. Paul?
I get it. But,
Paul hates it.
Yeah. You can't claim him anymore.
You can hear it. You can just hear it. I get it.
I guess it makes sense.
So much. I told y'all this. I was scrolling Twitter and I saw it, and I just saw a quarterback in a Chargers uniform, and my first thought was, wait, Phillip Rivers got removed from the ballot. Oh, wait, that's Drew Brees. You don't think about it anymore. You don't think about Chargers Drew Brees. But they did, man. I think it's a nice gesture.
Why not?
The Saints did that for a couple guys last year, who I don't remember their names, who spent like a few years in New Orleans, and then they weren't known for their time with the Saints, but they were like, congratulations, Hall of Famer. Like, why wouldn't you?
I'm okay with it, man. I remember when the Saints signed Drew Brees, like everybody was like, "Oh yeah, pretty good player.
Yeah,
like he'll give you some stability, certainly better than what you have," and nobody saw that coming.
Pretty good player. He was a first ballot Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion, should have been a league MVP, but it's fine. We don't need to rehash all of that. He got hosed out of that multiple times, but whatever. How can Drew Brees set an NFL record in passing yards one year and not be the league MVP?
You didn't get enough votes.
Thank you, Taylor. This is just one of the stupidest things ever, that he never won a league MVP, but fine. Anyway, he just went and rewrote the record books instead. Drew Brees, he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer. The Chargers, they still love him out there, and they love him in Los Angeles or in San Diego. I don't know. We'll see. Hour number 3, Sports Center, and then hour 3 next on AFR.